Alright guys, I'm back with another video, man. So, if you haven't watched my intro already, I suggest you watch the intro to this miniseries. It'll be in the playlist, so you should definitely, again, check out the intro for watch this video. But if you really don't care about all of that, I'm not gonna summarize what I said in the intro because I'm telling you to go watch it. But I'm about to get right into this. So, Life is Strange 1. This is my Life is Strange sorry. Life is Strange 1 review. Not critique. I'm not gonna go in and critically analyze this game because we're all gamers here. You know, we all love games. And there's no point to going in and ripping apart every aspect of the game of why Chloe is the worst character in gaming history and Max is just an idiot. You know, there's no point. So I guess since this is a Life is Strange game, very story centered, very character centric. Story and characters go hand in hand. I'm not gonna talk about the gameplay. It's a Life is Strange game. There's no point. That's kind of like saying, oh my god, the little sprint animation you do while in the diner is crazy. Like, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to talk about the gameplay. I'm not going to talk about the graphics either. I feel like, you know, the graphics have already been hammered before. You probably already know the graphics look completely trash. It was made on a low budget by a new studio. There's no point to critique the graphics. But there is a lot to critique. So I'm going to start with my positives. I like to start off positive because, you know, let's get that good energy. So, Life is Strange 1, what are some of the positives that I like about this game? So, I would definitely say the story is something that I like. And when I say the story, I'm not talking about that little side plot that comes back to haunt them in the that last episode, which is, of course, the storm that is going to hit Arcadia Bay. You will hear my negatives. I really do not like that. I think that is the dumbest thing in the game. It ruins the story in a lot of ways. But when you're just focused on the mystery and everything like that, that is great. That's great. It's fun going around seeing Arcadia Bay. I like how Arcadia Bay in this game feels so alive. It feels like everyone you see has a story to tell. You know what I mean? Even if you can't interact with it, just going and hearing or eavesdropping on their conversations, everyone has something going on. And I have to give, I think it was Don't Nod that produced this game. I have to give them the props that they deserve for putting in that extra bit of detail and making the world seem so alive, especially since it's a very small town. Another thing that I really like about this game are the characters. I feel like that's what kind of propels this game is the characters, Max and Chloe. So I'm gonna analyze these characters individually. I'm gonna start off with Max. She is the protagonist of the game. Max individually is by far the weakest protagonist in the Life is Strange series, and it's not even close. Max isn't a terrible character. She's what I like to call a system character. If you don't know where I'm getting that from, if you watch sports, in particular basketball, you hear the word system player get thrown around. Max is a system character. She works great for the I'm hitting my mic there. She works great for the story that she's in. Anything, if you were to take her individually, there's not a lot to love about her. Max is very, I want to say basic. She's very basic. Not a lot to her, in my opinion. She's kind of boring. But outside of that, Max is a pretty good protagonist. I enjoy Max, especially when she's with Chloe. Max and Chloe are, I'm saying how it is, like they're one of the greatest relationships in gaming, and I'm sick of people trying to discredit this relationship on YouTube like it's not a good relationship. That's why I said I'm not going to critique this game. Because I know once I do, yeah, there's a lot to hate about Chloe. And let's get right into Chloe since I mentioned her. Yeah, there's a lot to hate about Chloe. Let's not sit here and act like Chloe is some saint. She is a terrible person, a manipulative friend, and just overall not a good human being. But her chemistry with Max, her extroverted personality, her personality in general, her tragic story, everything about her makes her likable. And I know that's weird. They made a character that on paper looks very unlikable. Very unlikable. She looks like she should be the antagonist. Okay? If you were just to write out her personality on paper, why should I like this character? Well, I like this character because of her relationship with Max. I don't care what people say about how she manipulates Max or whatever. Chloe does genuinely care about Max, and Max does genuinely care about Chloe. And their relationship throughout the entire game, it's incredible. It's incredible. Their relationship's incredible. They have a really good relationship throughout the game. Really good relationship throughout the game. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but yes, that's really all I have to say about them. Some of the other characters, let's start up with some of the side characters like Victoria. I like how this game really did flesh out its side characters. You got Warren. You got Victoria. You got what's that one suicidal girl? What's her name? I'm sorry, I'm running a blank on what her name is, but you got her. You got Victoria's little posse. They fleshed them out a little bit. You got Nathan. You got the teachers. That one black science teacher. I don't remember her name, but you got her. The game is so fleshed out. Everyone has a personality. Everyone has a character. Everyone. You had the football players and Zachary. You had that one girl who was operating the robot. You got that one guy where you had to like guess like some pop culture type stuff to see his photos. You got him. You got that one girl that just can't stop getting hit by everything. You know, you gotta save her constantly. You know, the game's characters are very fleshed out, from their side characters to their main characters. David even, you know, like that's what makes this world seem so fleshed out. Something that I don't think a game has ever done before, and to this day still doesn't do, making every character important, giving every character a character. You know what I mean? Like, not every game can say they do that, so that's really impressive. That's really impressive. But let's get right back to the story. The story of Life is Strange, and that's the mystery, obviously. And spoilers, huge spoilers. Okay, I'm probably gonna put a spoiler alert at the beginning of this video, but spoilers, man. So basically, the plot of the story is that you start the game off. Max is sitting in her photographer teacher's classroom, and she kind of has like this little dream, this vision. Next thing you know, oh my God, she's going to the bathroom. She doesn't feel good. She watches Chloe get shot, goes back in time, saves Chloe. This kind of starts like a little, I guess, a butterfly effect, which is kind of shown by, hey, there was a butterfly in the bathroom. She took a picture of the butterfly. And in one of the endings, you have to go and rip the butterfly effect. You see what they did there? Very clever, don't not. But on a serious note, it starts a butterfly effect, which kind of starts this storm that's going to hit Arcadia Bay. Obviously, as I said, I strongly do not like that plot. I don't like it. I feel like that takes away from the actual main story that I care about, which is Rachel Amber. What happened to Rachel Amber? Who did it? Who did it? You know what I mean? And you get a lot of clues. Like, once you play the game, you realize what's happened, who did it. You go back, you're like, how did I not see that before? They were throwing hints along the way, seeing if you would pick up on it, to see if you may be able to guess who it was. And it's a crazy story. It's really good. It's very strange story. Obviously, there were a few parts of the game that I didn't like. I did not like that one scene where Max just, for some reason, can go back in time when looking at a photo. Can go back right to that direct moment. And she goes back and stops Chloe's dad from dying. Which, I did not enjoy that at all, because I felt like, again, it was a major distraction and took time away from the main story, from the characters, from the actual world. You will see, I hate it when games do this. I like a focused story with focused characters. I don't like distractions. Now, I don't mind, my character going and playing a mini game with another character. That's okay, as long as during that mini game you build up their actual character that has a purpose. Don't throw things into a game that waste my time and have no purpose to the characters and to the main story. And that's what Life is Strange does. Its whole storm plot, to me, is a distraction from what I really care about in the story, which is the mystery. I feel like they just stuck to this being a mystery, and your character so happens to have time powers. How convenient. That would have been better. But instead, it's just a whole jumbled mess where you're focused on the story for this little bit, and then, oh no, I gotta go and focus on, the storm. And then next thing you know, she's trying to change the freaking timeline. Like, yes, I understand she can do that, but it's like, I'm not trying to like sit here and watch that. You know what I mean? Also, the fact that the main story is basically complete by episode 4. Which is kind of like, okay, so I got another episode to go. This is going to be where I'm catching the actual guy. Kind of not. When you're in the basement with him, okay. Okay. But I think that where I'm kind of like, this becomes a mess. I'm not sure if this is a hot take or not, but episode 5 of Life is Strange is a mess. And you'll actually hear this trend kind of stay around for the rest of the Life is Strange game. I think that every Life is Strange game season, episode 5, is kind of a mess. I think Life is Strange 2 at the best, episode 5. It wasn't as much of a mess. But every one of their episode 5s are kind of a mess. Life is Strange 1 being, to me, the absolute worst. Their episode 5 is a complete mess. Mess. And the fact that the last choice, basically, one of the choices basically gets rid of the whole aspect that your choices matter. And this is my problem with Games like this, who are very story-centric, RPG-like games like that, story-based games, where you only have 2 endings. Now, I'm not sure if you guys played this game, but it's called Tell Me Why, which I think was made by the same studio. I'm not 100% sure. But that game is one of the best story-based games I've ever played. I think it's underrated. If you want me to review about it, let me know in the comments. Really good game. You should definitely play it. But it has multiple endings. And it's not a, oh my god, just click through ending. Like, I want this ending, so press X. No matter what I did of the whole game, I want this ending, press X. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's not like that. You could press X. You still got like 3 other endings that you could get depending on minor choices you make throughout the game, which again, that makes the game very good. Life is Strange only has two endings. No matter what, you have 2 endings. No matter what. And it sucks. Both endings suck. I'm not saying have a happy ending. But to be honest, the ending should have been finding out that Rachel isn't alive. The ending should have been catching the guy who did it. But it's not a good ending. Yeah, he got caught, but it's a bittersweet ending. Because guess what? A girl is still dead. You know what I mean? Max got tortured. You know what I mean? And she had to watch Chloe get shot. They still walk away with their scars. Bittersweet, but they still walk away with their scars. And this is why I think the game should have just ended with Max and Chloe sitting up at the lighthouse. Well, guess what? That's where they had their first moment, right there at the lighthouse. Should have been sitting up at the lighthouse watching the sun go down. Bittersweet ending. Instead of the whole them driving off together as the whole town is basically disintegrated, or the whole save Arcadia Bay, Chloe dies, all this. Like, no, I don't like that ending. I feel like if they kept it simple, guess what? You extend the murder mystery. Give us more. Stay more focused on the murder mystery. I feel like this game would have been a 10 out of 10. You had the characters. You definitely had the setting. You had the dialogue. Yeah, cringy, corny. But you had the dialogue. You had everything set in stone. But you were not focused on the main story that actually mattered. And you had these 2 other plots that nobody cared about. And to me, I think Life is Strange is a masterpiece, but it is a messed up, messy masterpiece. Great game, but a messy masterpiece. And that's really all I have to say about Life is Strange 1. That's my review on it. So, that's the end of today's video. Like and subscribe. Coming in with Life is Strange 2 review as well, so stay tuned for that, and peace.